Note: support the official release whenever possible. CT Toys has really come out of nowhere this past year to become one of the new hotnesses in the collector community. Their bootlegs get way closer to the original official releases than knockoffs normally do, and for way cheaper and easier to find than the figures they're based on. It's no wonder they've really blown up in popularity. Turns out people like Mafex figures but don't want to pay Mafex prices. So here are 3 of the SpiderMan that CT bootleg this year based on their Mafex versions. Let's start with the basic Spider-Man. This is your meat and potatoes, vanilla, third food reference type Spider-Man. Since this is based on the number 185 release, this figure comes with no Peter head. It has 2 different masked heads with 2 eye sizes, so you can pick which one looks better to you. They are easy to swap, and I think I'm partial to the bigger eyes myself. Most of the joints are tight and squeaky. It doesn't get in the way of a lot of motion, but it does add a little bit of anxiety over whether it'll snap in two if you push too hard. Some of the joints definitely do like to come apart if I push on them firmly or for long enough. So far he's popped right back together though. The left elbow joint is also slightly more loose than the rest of them. It's not a deal breaker, but it is noticeable. Might try doing the floor cleaner trick to tighten them up a bit. Looking at the paint, the web lines are a little messy. There's some smudging throughout, and some of the web lines aren't filled in all the way, but it doesn't look aggressively bad. If you aren't inspecting it in detail, you might not even notice it. The backs of the hands look like they're missing a little bit of paint. All of this is a good reminder that this is a bootleg and not an official release. It comes with lots of hand options. 2 punchers, 2 wall crawlers, 2 web shooters, 2 relaxed hands, 2 web holding hands, and 2 magnetic hands. There are also alternative magnetic feet too. The magnets in mine are a little sloppily inserted, so they don't really get full strength. If I feel super ambitious someday, maybe it would be fixable. But for now, it does the job okay. He comes with a pretty decent array of web effects. He has 2 short spurts, 2 longer squirts, a swinger, and a dangler. They're all made out of a soft, bendy plastic that stays in place well, but also moves around if you need it to. Let's do a side-by-side with the original Mafex version. The CT version is slightly shorter than the official one. The paint lines on the original are cleaner, and the joints aren't as squeaky. The articulation overall is pretty much the same, and the OG has the same web effects too. But the original one does feel smoother and a little more solid. And now for the dark middle chapter of the video. I think this is probably the best of the 3 bootlegs we're going to look at today. It feels like a real action figure, if that makes sense. It looks great. He looks just like my mind's eye version of the Symbiote Spidey. Like most of the other CT figures, this one is slightly smaller than 1/12 scale. I think if you squint, it will fit in great with the rest of your collection. He comes with many different accessories, including the requisite many hands, including 2 fistos, 2 thwippos, 2 relaxos, 2 grabos, 2 wall crawlos, and a set of magnetic hands and feet O's. They're all easy to swap on and off and stay on pretty well. The magnets are very solid and stick great. There are a few head options here, including big eyes, angry eyes, and a Peter Parker head and unmasked neck. The goopy paint effect is clean enough, and the face isn't bad. He's got some stubble and looks like he's been up all weekend. That symbiote will take it out of you, I guess. And for web effects, we've got the same set of them from the classic Spidey suit, but instead of the dangler, we've got this web backpack. It goes on pretty easily if you put his arms back and put it on like a real backpack. It's a solid piece and has a good weight to it. The straps have a little bit of give to them, but maybe they aren't as bendy as one would want. Paint-wise, this is very simple, of course. It's mostly black with the obvious white highlight and some subtle blue shading in a few spots, like on the shins here. The soles of the feet are blue too. The paint accuracy of the white spider on the chest and back are pretty close, with a little bit of messiness here and there. The eyes and backs of the hands are painted pretty well too. It's pretty great for a knockoff. This guy moves very well too. He can pretty much hit any pose that you would want. The joints move smoothly and are tight without being squeaky like the other 2 Spideys we're looking at today. Well, there's a little bit of squeak in his shoulder, but that's about it. Overall, I really love this figure. It was the first one of these CT bootlegs I got, and it's probably my favorite one. And now for one of my favorite Spider-Man looks of all time. I love the Scarlet Spider design, even though it's a very 90s edgy vibe. Maybe that's exactly why it speaks to me. Huh. Well, anyway, here's a bootleg of it. Overall look and vibe is good here. He looks the part. Cuts the right silhouette and everything. They really saved money in the paint budget with this guy. He's pretty much red from head to toe, besides the wrist web shooters, belt, and his ankle monitors. This is what you get for swinging under the influence, Mr. Riley. They were even kind enough to add a little bit of silver to the buttons on the pouches. His left elbow and wrist hinge are slightly loose, like on the 185 KO, but the articulation on the rest of the figure is pretty solid. For accessories, you've got two hoodies to choose from. The original one from the Mafex figure and a more comic-accurate version. Leave it to a bootlegger to get a detail like that better than the big boys. Both hoodies have wire in the hoods to make them posable. They work pretty well. It's also not too hard to swap between the two if you want to. I just put his arms up above his head like one would if they were taking a real hoodie off, and then slide the next one on again. Helps to pop his head off. He's got lots of web effects. We've got all the same ones as the other two, but there's this weird pretzel looking one and two curly fries. We have all the same hand options from the other two figures too. The magnets in this one seem to work pretty well. We've got 3 masked heads to choose from here. Looks like he packed a set of his angry eyes in this one. Why are all these variant Spideys so grumpy? I kinda wish this one came with an unmasked head. I might have to look into a third-party one or something for this and the classic Spidey figures. The slightly smaller size of all 3 of these figures make it work great for my Selfies series head though. I'll add some blue tack or something like that if I want a more stable display like that. Here are the Spider-Mans next to the Mafex number 185 Spider-Man, the Marvel Legends Symbiote Spider-Man, Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, the updated Marvel Legends Scarlet Spider, CT Toys Brown Suit Wolverine, the CT Toys Tiger Stripe Wolverine, the Jada Toys Street Fighter 2 Cammy, SH Figure Arts Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the Mafex MCU Stealth Captain America, Mafex Comic Book Captain America, Mafex Homelander, Marvel Legends Movie Venom, Jakks Pacific Mario Movie Luigi, the Jada Toys Chester Cheetah, Marvel Legends MCU Wolverine, and the Marvel Legends Movie Deadpool. CT Toys continues to be a very interesting player in this space. I think if you don't care about getting the genuine article, any one of these 3 figures are worth the price. They're way more affordable for a figure that is pretty close to the originals. You should get the originals if possible, but these are also a lot of fun too. If you can only pick one of them, I'd definitely go with the Symbiote version. He's the most solid of the 3. If you want some more bootleg action, check out my look at the CT Toys Brown Suit Wolverine, or my look at some of the AliExpress Star Wars Troopers. I'll see you next time.